Hello, Cruising World. Mick the Suit Guy with you. It's Monday. Monday is Tips Day. And this is week 2 of my Virgin tips for you that I did together with Julie. As I said last week, they're almost more differences than tips, but they're tips at the same time. So last week, if you didn't watch it, we covered booking restaurants on the app. That's probably going to change soon. We did about bringing a refillable water bottle and the fact that there's water in the rooms in carafes. You don't have to buy or bring any water on board, and about seeing activities in the app before you go on the ship, and about luggage tags. So, and then we covered parking at the port as well. It was a little side thing at the end. So if you want to get more details, watch last week's episode, and I'll cover that in a bit more detail. But for this week, we got a few more. And this, again, is another one that may change. But right now, they are doing a status match. So on their website, you can go to a link for status matches. You can click on that link and you can put in what you are on your various cruise line. You have to send a screen print to show that you are that status. You can't just make it up. And they will give you what they call Deep Blue Extras, which is pretty good. It includes like $100 onboard credit, which they call Sailor Loot. It includes early embarkation and debarkation and stuff. There's a few little benefits towards getting it. So it's definitely worth. If you are platinum or diamond, for example, on Carnival, then you can do a status match. But go to the page on their website that's about status match, and then put your information in, whatever cruise line you're looking for, and hopefully they will match you and make you a little bit extra, on the cruise. Make it a bit more easy for you. I know we've done it. And then what will happen also subsequently, because you've submitted it once, it's recorded on your booking number. So if you make another booking, it would automatically come up. You don't have to fill it out again. But double check it does. But normally it comes straight back out again. So you can see it there. All right. So that's status match. Pretty good, huh? I know MSC does that too. I don't know of any other cruise line that does it. I know that Royal, Celebrity, and I always forget their other one. Silver Seas, is it? I'm not, don't quote me on that. But between the brand, they were status match. Carnival does not, even though Princess, Holland, Carnival, all those are the same. They do not interbrand share the status, because Carnival basically ain't going to give you anything. You do not cruise with Carnival for the benefits or the rewards. That is for sure. You cruise with Carnival mainly for the price, is all I'm going to say. And the fun, they will tell you. But certainly not the benefits and rewards. That is for sure, unless you're in a casino. But if you're diamond like me, don't expect anything except free laundry, which we rarely use. Well, that's another story for another day. This one's about Virgin. All right. So, and I covered this last week. We were making these notes as we were driving down, because I was like, let's kill some time, because we drove to Miami from Tampa. It's like 4.5 hour drive. Let's make some notes. But I kind of covered this last week. Is if you make reservations before you go for dining, for example, that's great. But if you didn't or you couldn't, because you basically, to recover last week, you go in about 45 days before and make your restaurant reservations, but that may be changing soon. They said on this last cruise we just went on, the head honchos were there, and in a town hall meeting, they said they were addressing that and fixing that. They just didn't know when. So we're going to talk as if they're still doing that. But if it fills out, it fills out. But they always keep spaces on board. Or even if you want to change your time, you didn't like what you got, you can go to those restaurants when you get on board and put yourself down on a standby list. Or if there's available tables when you go, they'll sit you straight away. It depends on how busy the restaurants are. So don't panic if you couldn't get that. As they said to us on the cruise, there are 200 seats in 6 restaurants with 2+ seatings every night. If they said it worked out with the timing, it's the equivalent of 2.5 seatings every night with the time overlaps and everything. So 6 restaurants, that's 1,200 people every seating. So that would be 3,000 availability at 2.5. So see how quick I did that? Probably got it wrong, but I think I'm right. So that's more than enough for everybody to sit and eat at any restaurant, or one restaurant at least every night. So bear that in mind. It's preferable to make the advanced reservations, but if you don't panic. You should be okay. Also in advance, they don't have a drinks package on Virgin, but they do have a thing called Sailor Loot for onboard credit, and they have bar tab. Now with the bar tab, if you buy $100, I think you get a $25 bonus. I probably should have looked up before I did this. up to if you get like a $300 one, I think it's a $75 bonus. Don't quote me on the bonus money, but the more you spend on a bar tab in advance, which is only allowed for bar, not for anything else around the ship, bear that in mind, they will give you a bonus amount for free depending on how much you book. Right? So the longer the cruise, the more you drink, the more you want to put down. Drinks are reasonable on there. They're not as expensive as you might imagine they would be. We were just on there, and I know like a beer that I drink was like $8, $7 or $8 for a beer. And don't forget, there's no gratuities on Virgin. So there is that too. And also, the mixed drinks were like maybe 12, 13. They weren't overly expensive. And no gratuities on top makes a big difference because 18% from everybody else, that can add up real quick. So bear that in mind when you're looking at it. But you can pre-purchase a bar tab. And sometimes they'll include that with the offer when you book it. And also they sometimes have specials. So keep an eye out for that. Just because, you booked it in July, might be a Black Friday deal comes out. I don't know, where you can do something. So keep an eye on specials coming up. But yeah, that's another thing. One thing about Virgin is, and it's a positive and a negative at the same time. There are very, very, very few announcements on board. You really have to know, and you have to check the hub for stuff if you're not sure. And I'll give you an example. The day we left, there's only a 2-day cruise, but we've done 5-day cruise. We've done a couple of 5-day cruises before, and it was the same thing. They will make announcements during the afternoon about going to do the muster drill, and they will come into your cabin for those announcements. They were literally the only announcements we heard all week long. Even when we went into ports, they didn't make announcements that the ship was open for you to go ashore. You had to check on the app to get that. Now, a side note to that, another thing they mentioned at the town hall is that they are working on improving the app because they know it's not the greatest. And if you've been on a Virgin cruise, you'll know what I mean. So the hub, for example, on Carnival is a lot better than the app on Virgin, but they are allegedly making steps to improve it. Anyway, the example I'm going to give you is this. For debarkation, you have to set yourself a time to do it. There's no letter in your cabin. There's no nothing. You have to know to do it on the app or go to Sailor Services, guest services they call Sailor Services, which is down on deck 5, midship, and get it done there. We completely forgot to do it, which wasn't that bad because the ship wasn't that full on ours, but on a full ship, because we've done it before where the line to get off was pretty long, even though we had a scheduled time. So that's just an example of you have to know. So you have to make a list of all the things you have to do and find them on the app or go to Sailor Services and have them help you. There aren't going to be announcements. There aren't going to be letters. There's not going to be much help. Let's put it that way. If you are a brand new cruiser, Virgin can be a little bit of a challenge if you don't know what's happening, because you may not even know that you're supposed to check in for a debarkation spot time, right? So just be aware of that. I mean, I didn't even know that we could reserve the brunch because we didn't have to be out the rooms until 10 o'clock off the ship by 10:30. So we had a brunch appointment at like 8:30 the day we got off because we were in no real rush to get home. We went down and got brunch in the steakhouse at 8:30. We could leave our bags in the room. After brunch, we picked them up and left and went home. But I didn't know you could do that. We had to work that out ourselves. So there is a lot you have to know. Yeah. And if you're unsure, go to guest services and ask. One good thing on the app is you can actually ask guest services a question on the app, and they do get back to you very quickly. So you don't have to go down there and stand in line. So that is one positive. But again, does everybody know that you've got to book a debarkation spot? Probably not. So I'm sure a lot of people don't on the day. Yeah, that's interesting. And that's just not for that. That's for everything. So after that first announcement on that day, there were no more announcements. There wasn't an announcement that you can now get off the ship, like on, and I keep referring to Carnival because it's fresh in my mind, like Zone A, if you're in evacuation zone A or muster station A, you can now leave the ship. None of that. It's just, we're here, I guess. Off you go when you want to, but no announcements, no nothing. So there is a lot of that. So be aware of that. That's all. They also have a future cruise desk thing on there, and it's a really good offer that they do. You could buy like a future cruise for $300, the voucher, and then for that $300, you have to book and sail within 2 years. You also get, as well as you'll get that taken off the cruise when you go to book it, but you'll also get, depending on the length of the cruise, a discount on the cruise, and extra onboard credit. So if you were to book a longer cruise, you could get $200 off the cruise and $200 onboard credit. So if you know you're going to cruise again, you can only buy these while you're on board, and you can buy up to 4 each, and you can transfer them one time. So if you're going on a cruise and you have some friends that want to go on Virgin, right? You can buy one of these $300 things. You can sell it to them for $300 and transfer it. You know, use it yourself. Long as you use it within 2 years, book and sail. The $300 is kind of a wash because it just comes off the cost of the cruise. So it just reduces your deposit. Their deposits are quite high. But again, depending on the length of the cruise, you'll get extra onboard credit and extra discount off of the cruise itself. So definitely a good thing to do. And if you're booking under an offer that already has onboard credit, you'll get that as well. It's not like an either or. It's an addition to whatever offer they have at that time. So again, if you know you're cruising again, you can't buy them when you're off the ship. You have to buy them on the ship. And they were open until 10 o'clock when we got off the ship. So they're open late. And it's right up on deck 7 midship, right next to the shore excursions desk. There's a big area. There's 2 or 3 people working there because they're very popular. Do it. And I pretty much guarantee you that if you cruise Virgin, you're going to want to cruise again. But again, they do leave a sheet in your room explaining it because they want you to know about that. But you may not really still understand what it is. It's another one of those things. You don't know it's there. You don't know it's there. But yes, you can. You can buy up to 4 and you can transfer them once. So again, if you've got, and that's 4 each. So if 2 of you traveling, you can buy 8, right? So if you've got a big group of people that want to go on a Virgin cruise and you're just testing it out and you think they're all going to want to go, buy them, transfer them for free, just have them pay you the $300 and you'll all get extra bonuses for going on there. How's that for an offer? Virgin does a lot of really good things like that, you know? So, yeah, it's good. Do that. All right. 2 more things. 1, bring a red outfit for Scarlet Night. They go all out for Scarlet Night. They really do. They have a lot of, it will start about 9 and it will run through midnight and then it goes on into the club. But from 9 to midnight, all around the ship, they'll have inflatables. I won't I won't spoil you by telling the story about it. You have to find out for yourself on the night. They will tell you quite a lot. But they have like parades through the ship and gatherings and everything like that. And then about 10:45, go up to the upper deck. Hopefully the weather's nice because if it's bad weather, they won't. But hopefully it is. And then all the crew will do some crazy dancing around the pool. And then everybody joins in and people jump in the pool. And they have a DJ playing. And let me tell you, I got a seat right next to the DJ the other day. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I can video the people dancing and I can turn and get the DJ. But then somebody came and stood right in the gap between us, which they shouldn't have done because there was a rope for the DJ, but they thought they were too good and it didn't matter. So they stood right there and I couldn't. But the DJs are next level on Virgin. They are Vegas club quality DJs. I'm a DJ myself, not to the level of the people I had on there. The ones on Carnival, I'm just going to go on a limb and say I'm better DJ than they are. These ones on Virgin, I couldn't touch their toe. I'm not even so good. So yeah, it's a different experience. Different experience there. So bring your red outfit for Scarlet Night. Loads of people on the ship will be wearing red. Surprisingly, the bigwigs that came on board, none of them wore red, which was a bit of a shock to me. They're all out there, but none of them had red on, which I thought was a bit disappointing, but whatever. I would say probably 75 to 80% of the people on board wore red on Scarlet Night. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Could be a red t-shirt. Could be anything. Just a red t-shirt, red shirt, whatever. Doesn't have to be a full outfit. But wear something red and you'll feel much more in place. And also, they typically have a PJ party. Like, you know, on other cruise lines, they have a white night and stuff like that. But, you know, they don't tell you in advance. It's the same thing here. You have to know about it. But they always have a PJ party, which is a lot of fun. So bring a pair of PJs, and go to that. So Scarlet Night, wear red. PJ party, bring a pair of PJs, and then have some fun. Overall, the thing with Virgin is, it is like so different to every other cruise you've been on. There are no rules. There's no main dining room. Everything. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. No kids. That's the biggest thing. Wi-Fi is included. There's no gratuities. There's water in the rooms. There's no announcements. There's no photographers. So you don't have to worry about that. The crew are really nice. The crew's always really nice. But yeah, it's just like an anti-cruise cruise, if you know what I mean. So they're a little bit more expensive than other cruises, but bear in mind what you're getting for your money. Like I said, no Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi included. I got the basic Wi-Fi. I could have upgraded, but I was able to do some Facebook Lives that work perfectly fine on their Wi-Fi and stuff. So for me, it was fine. No gratuities are included. Or your food's included at specialty restaurants. So imagine what you would spend on Carnival, say, or Royal, if you went to specialty restaurants. We went on Icon of the Seas. We got the unlimited dining package for eating in the specialty restaurants every night, and it was somewhere like between the two of us, like $700 or $800, right, to do that. When you pay your cabin's the price for two. It's not the cab. Well, if you see your price on Virgin's website, that is the price for two. So you'll pretty much get a balcony for a 5-day cruise for like $2,400, $2,500, somewhere around about there. Maybe a little bit more depending on the time of year. That includes the specialty restaurants. That includes the Wi-Fi. That includes the gratuities. When you add all that in, and no kids, not a bad deal. So I would encourage you to at least try Virgin one time. And if you want to try it, you email me. My email's coming up at the end of this, and I can help you book it. And I know the ships really well. I also was able to video a full ship tour on this one. So there'll be a ship tour coming out too. And check out my video. I got video of all the cabins on board except of the solo sea view and the limited view sea terrace. I got video of all the cabins on one video. So check that out too. Send me your tips. My email again is coming up. Send them to that. Bear in mind, I do not read them in advance. I read and react live as I record. And send me any questions you have. So hopefully that was a nice little insight into some Virgin things. And then go from there. I will see you later, Cruising World. Any questions? Email me anytime. cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com. I promise I'll reply as soon as possible. Want to book a cruise or any type of travel? We are travel agents. Check out our site, elitetravelconnection.com, or email me, mick@elitetravelconnection.com. We are here for you. Finally, subscribe, please. Pretty please. You know you want to. Go on. I won't beg you. Okay, I'm begging. Please. Subscribe. Thank you.